AJ ready to come back today? And what you think that you saw, and what's next for him?
Yeah, I think the weather was a big proponent of everyone being on board with that. He and his family were ready to go. Kind of asked him Sunday, what's the next step look like for you in the week schedule? Because I already knew he wanted to be out there. We just wanted him to verbalize it. And then we're to the point where he's faced our hitters a few times, so it's either face our hitters or face their hitters. So we felt good about getting him out there. I was just glad he didn't try and do too much. It almost looked like he was actually being more methodical than I've ever seen him. I don't know if that's the trend he wants to keep or that was him keeping himself under control. But to me, I was happy that, the adrenaline, it was certainly there, but it wasn't out of control. And I think the flip side of that is he did a really good job of all the throwing he did to come back, keeping himself kind of under control when he did face our guys. So it looked, what I like, because that was a part of your question too, was I liked how good it looked, because you knew, again, when the adrenaline or the game competitiveness kicks in, what's it going to be like. And then the favorite part of the whole day, because the whole day was kind of a mess, to be honest with you. Me traveling back here and just the game was a wild one. Was him and Woody hugging. I don't think some of our guys don't realize it till they leave, when they go off into pro ball or maybe they go to a different program. The freshmen, when they first get here, it's kind of like, who's this guy that's been around a long time? You don't understand how valuable that position is for a program and how much stress it takes away from me. I mean, the guy's been around 20 first rounders probably and been around it for so long, and those two guys hugging was pretty cool.
You anticipate
for AJ in terms of down the road, next time you can have him out, and do you have a role you'd like to see him ascend to during the season?
I think he's more comfortable starting. I think at this point we're not going to have him pitch 2 times within a 5-day, Friday and then Tuesday wouldn't even be realistic, I think. So the next stop will be getting him out there maybe multiple innings, but we had talked about him getting a start like the 5th week of SEC play. But he cut out, just a good example for kids. Whatever, you can have fun and all that stuff, but he wasn't a big drinker or partier, but he cut out all that stuff and changed his diet completely. I'm just trying to express how psycho he got about coming back. And he was determined to do it, and he basically got to the point where we couldn't slow him down, So again, it was either face our guys. So it'll probably be the same thing. His work and his character will lead him into, forcing our hand maybe a little quicker than we want, but we're also going to be pretty dang patient. The next time out isn't going to be, much more than he just did. It'll probably be more along the lines of what he just did.
How tough is a process like that to kind of keep the bull kind of caged up a little bit? Because it's probably tough for anybody, but it's a young man. His arm's worth a lot of money. So how do you?
No, he is, and I think, I don't think we handled it as good as we could have last year. I mean, we got in a situation where there just could have been a lot of little things communicated better, and you can't bulletproof anybody, that's for sure. And also, some things you just can't stop. I mean, there's certain kids now in high school, these arms are moving so fast, or kids grow so fast. So all you can do is, I think, communicate and make sure both sides are on board. We're working just as hard as the kid is, and then you get to a point where you want it to be obvious they need to get out there. So I don't know that directly answers your question, but that was the step-by-step process that went on there. And there's many versions of that have gone on too, with Tegan being sick or Lloyd just getting a little tight one day, and we're like, hey, let's get some other guys a chance and make sure that you are just as ready as he was today.
Tegan and Dylan both made their debuts here today as well. What did you like about them, the way they're throwing it?
Well, Dylan showed one of his biggest strengths is his composure. I mean, they had a situation there where they could have scored on him, and nobody wants that to happen. But you kind of always feel good about how he can manage the game, at least his emotions. He's always extremely competitive. He can field his position. You just feel comfortable for a lot of different reasons when he's out there. And just like any ball player, sometimes it doesn't go perfect for him. And then I just thought Tegan, he's got that presence. I've mentioned it to you guys before. He's got that presence that you hope freshmen have, that is kind of that of an upperclassman. And he's always had stuff that is that of an upperclassman too. So I don't think we need to go crazy with either one of those two. I think they're both fine, but the next time out will probably be a highly competitive situation for both guys because of those attributes they have.
What should we expect lineup-wise with you guys going down to Houston? Is it going to be a more definitive lineup, or are you going to continue to mix it up? Or
No, I think I don't think the team even knew what I don't know if they knew what I was talking about or not. You could ask them, but I just you kind of plan out some of these games, and it rarely goes according to plan A, but sometimes you can get close. And today was just second guessing and one off this and one off that, and then you don't get to use a guy, and one guy's out there too quickly, and then you leave a guy out there longer than you planned. It didn't go well. So, ultimately the players that are out there got to play and do their job, but we need to put them in a position to succeed, and don't think that my part of that responsibility was executed very well tonight at all. But that fits under the big picture of we got a puzzle to solve with what is the best version of this team. And a huge part of that is the locker room. I'm not even involved. They need to decide what their personality is, how good they think they can be, and some other things as well. And then for the coaching staff, we need to figure out, it's pretty big time play Ariel made on that slow roller. So how is he involved? What other guys move around? Plenty of position players could be included too, but the pitching staff, we got to figure out what's what.
How comfortable are you guys with Stone at first base defensively?
I think the biggest reason we put him out there today was because I think Levi's every bit as good defensively. Stone's just a big communicator and a big talker, and he's been here his second year, so we figured we'd roll with that because we wanted to get both those guys at bats. But very comfortable with him at that spot, and him against certain type of pitching is we feel the best matchup too. But it's trying to balance out the reps. We don't have a definitive lineup for Houston. I think we'll focus on Friday and we'll do the same old thing we've been doing. Marcus will get the respect of the coaching staff or get the nod for Saturday so he can prepare for it. But the rest is going to be how do we think we can win the first inning or two on Friday, and the rest of the weekend can wait.
Knowing you got a lot of research coming up later this week and scouting all that, but the teams you're going to play this weekend, what do you know about them, and how much of a challenge are they going to present?
Well, it starts with, when I grew up, three very, very proud traditions. Oklahoma State, when Gary Ward was there, was arguably the best program in the country for multiple years. And then Frank, took over there. There's a lot of ingredients. It's like Tennessee athletics for Oklahoma State baseball. There's a lot of ingredients there that have lended itself to success. And I know they got some big arms, and they're very well coached by a pitching coach that Frank knows real well. And the Holiday family's been ingrained in that program too. So that's really all we should matter or worry about. But since you brought it up, Lance Berkman, and Rice was playing with Wayne Graham as their coach half the time on my television when I was younger, or when I was in high school, and I was hoping I could play college baseball. And then Arizona's had about as much success too. So you got three very strong, tradition-rich programs. But the best way to tackle a massive project like that is kind of, like you said, one inning at a time. We'll try and win the first couple innings on Friday, and that'll really be the only script we have written out. The rest will be, we will have to do our research and our homework and work hard to put together a good weekend, probably in front of a good fan base. Our folks like to travel when we do this stuff.
Any update on Noah Senna going in tomorrow? Is he in high spirits?
He's always in high spirits. I know the guys want to do whatever they can. I don't know that they'll be allowed to be, but that's a pretty unique kid. So I hope karma is on his side. I can tell you that. The rest, I honestly have no idea. So I don't mean to make any kind of political statement with that at all. Just I watched him play, and the big homers and all that don't really match up with the. He's kind of a teddy bear, but also he's got some fight to him, and he's a fun one to have around. You can ask the players about him, and they can probably put it more into words.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
Thanks, Coach.